என்னம்மா? ಇನ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸಂಡೇ ಕೊಡ್ಪ. ഇന്ന് പോവും, പക്ഷെ ആ ബാഗ് ഒന്ന് എടുത്തു പോകും. ഇച്ചിരി വെള്ളാക്കണേ.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. This is your early, Ada. I came like 3 minutes early.
Ma'am, no, ma'am. If you had told me, I would have come. Like that, I would have
Hey,
come.
I told no joined.
Ma'am, as soon as you told, I joined, ma'am.
Hey, I told at 5:57.
Ma'am, no, ma'am. At 6:02, I got message saying joined, so I joined. Oh, 5:57. Oh, yeah, no. I was planning where to go out, so I didn't see my phone only.
Oh wow, very important, no? Hey.
No, ma'am. I have mock board practicals tomorrow. So from morning I was studying. Then math, I went to school also, got record corrected, full stamp and all. You have to get on record, it seems.
Mm.
Yeah, ma'am. So like that. So that is
Good.
too much work. Ma'am, and they're like, it'll be so hard, it seems.
Summa, they are building up something else. Okay.
Ma'am, but
Today, no.
chemistry is very hard.
No, it will be easy only, don't worry. Today we'll start with the next chapter, locomotion, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Locomotion, today we'll just see the structure of muscle and what are the types of, what is the difference between locomotion, what is the difference between movement and all those things, okay?
Ma'am, and tomorrow class we'll have, no?
Tomorrow, yeah, we can have in the morning as
Ma'am,
usual. But
morning
your
I have, that's what, I have
practical is
mock practicals till 12:30. 12:30 only they get over.
2 o'clock.
Mm.
And that time, sometimes it's middle of the day, no. So some
Or
meetings
evening time is also
come
fine.
late.
Evening time is also fine.
Evening is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, I don't mind. Like tomorrow at the same time, like 6 o'clock, we can have.
6 to 7. 7:30, I'll go for tennis. 6 to 7:30. 1.5 hours will do tomorrow.
Okay, that would be fine then.
And Saturday also 1.5 hours. Ma'am. For sure, we'll do 1.5 hours tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, cool.
Ma'am, Sunday also you'll be able to take.
No, this Sunday I can't.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fine. Next week I have both practicals.
Okay.
Yeah, next week only we have it. Now they're telling.
So tomorrow no practical?
Tomorrow is mock practicals for the boards.
Oh, okay.
Saturday is also mock. Ma'am, Saturday also morning won't be possible. Saturday also till 12:30 mock practicals for bio. Monday mock practicals for physics. Then Tuesday, Wednesday holiday. Thursday or Friday actual board physics practicals. Then Saturday, Sunday holiday. Monday, next Monday actual board practical for bio or chemistry it will be. Then 2 days holiday like that.
Okay, cool. Okay, understood. So once again.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will start now. Yeah, let me just share my screen. Cool. So first we'll start with by understanding what is the difference between locomotion and movement. Okay. See, for example, like right now, if I'm sitting, correct? Now I'm just sitting in my place, and like say for example, I am just closing my eyes and meditating. Okay. At that time, I'm not doing anything much. I'm like it's just that I'm at one single place. Okay. But that doesn't mean that within my body things are not happening. It's not like I'm dead. Yes or no?
Yeah. Outside you might look still.
Exactly. So inside your body, there is a lot of things happening, like your heart is beating, okay? The impulses are being transferred and all these things are happening. Yes or no? So that is also actually called as movement. Okay. And like say in this case, there's this person who's pulling the arrow, correct? So when he's pulling the arrow, technically he's just moving his hands and legs. But he's standing at the same point and only aiming the arrow. Yes or no? So you call that as movement. Okay.
Yeah, locomotion is when he's running.
Yes, locomotion is when there is a change in the position. Then you can call it as locomotion.
Movement is like any change in anything.
Yes. So, like actually, you can say that locomotion is a type of movement.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever we say locomotion or locomotory organs, on a broader perspective, we use the term movement instead of locomotion.
Yeah, but actually they're
Okay.
not the same.
Yes, they are not the same. There is a minute difference. So that is why we call it as locomotory movement. Yes, when I say locomotory movement, it means those movements which causes change in position or the location or anything. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think this is basic, so you can easily understand that. Yeah. Now, the next thing is, say for example, in plants, there's something called a cytoplasmic streaming. Are you aware of what it is? Very simple. Substances will be transported within the cytoplasm. That's called cytoplasmic streaming. Like just
It's
like
not locomotion because initial position of the thing still remain of the organism still remains.
it is not locomotion.
But it is movement.
It is movement. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Then in the case of your cilia moving inside your body, that is also movement, but not locomotion.
Not locomotion.
Okay. So all these things are basically comes under locomotion, but still they they come under movement, but if there is a change in position, then you call it as locomotion. So that's why we say movement and locomotion are like very closely related with each other. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so if an organism want to move or if an organism want to locomote, okay, it is not necessary that they should have separate organs. Say, for example, human beings. For us to locomote or to move, we have hands and legs. Yes or no? Or do we have separate organs?
No, hands and legs.
Hands and legs. Same way, like if you take the example of cilia, like in the case of paramecium.
Yeah,
It
they
helps
have
in the
locomotion and putting food.
correct. So
Even we have hands, no, ma'am, eating and locomotion.
yes, correct. Okay. Now we'll come to, so that's why we are going to say it as types of locomotion. We are going to talk it as types of movements. Because ultimately you can't study movement and locomotion separately. They're closely related with each other.
Ma'am, your phone is about to die.
Yeah. That's 13%. Okay. Now, what are the different types of movements that you can see? One is amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, and muscular movement. Okay. So amoeboid movement, as the term suggests, it's something related to the amoeba's pseudopodia. Okay. So in amoeba, you know that they have this false foot called as pseudopodia, which extends in order to capture the food. Okay. So that movement is called as amoeboid movement.
Ciliary.
See, that is cilia related. But when you talk about amoeba movement, what causes the amoeba to move? It's called as microfilaments. We have already learned about microfilaments in cell chapter.
Oh, cell cycle.
Yes, what was it?
It was the organ that helps the amoeba to move.
No, we didn't study in that respect.
What?
It's already there on this slide. You just need to figure it out and tell me.
It's already there in the slide. Oh.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it is a cytoskeletal organ.
What is a cytoskeleton?
It is the outermost this thing. Outermost this thing. In insects and all, it's there, no? Sorry, in insects, it's absent. Ma'am, it is that this thing, ma'am. It is absent in.
Skeleton.
Oh, sorry. Cytoskeleton is the cell covering or something, no?
Upper what to cell membrane then?
No. Oh, that is cell membrane. Ma'am, you only tell.
I already taught you. You should be telling me this now. Basic this is.
Wait. Ma'am, tell 1-2 lines of it, I'll tell.
It is there in the term itself.
Cytoskeleton. No? It is a framework. Ma'am, it is present in the cytoplasm.
Very good. What is present in cytoplasm?
Cytoskeleton.
What is it made up of?
Proteins, I guess. No. So it is present inside the cytoplasm.
You're right now breaking my heart into pieces. You know that?
Wait, ma'am. I'll tell correctly, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. Ma'am, protein, correct. Protein only it will be made up of, no.
There's a term out of which it is made up of. What is that term?
What? So confusing. Term.
Hmm.
Ma'am, but is it made up of protein?
Cytoskeleton is made up of proteins. I agree that. But what is it? You remember we learned something called as microtubule, microfilaments.
Oh yeah, it's made up of microtubules and no microfilaments and microtubules.
Yeah, thanks for repeating.
Yes, I got it.
You didn't get it. I told you.
And specifically in microfilament, one particular filament it's made up of.
What?
That I don't know. But it's made up of microtubules and microfilaments.
அப்படியே ஏதாவது அடிச்சு விட வேண்டியதா? So in amoeboid movement, the microfilament present in the cytoskeleton actually helps in this movement. Okay. Now the next thing is, yes, microfilament is made up of actin and proteins. You remember?
Actin and?
Actin and myosin.
Actin, correct. Yeah, correct. Actin.
Actin.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what, ma'am? You asked me what is you.
Okay. In our body also, we can see amoeboid movement. That is in the case of macrophage.
Macrophages.
Tell me where macrophage is formed.
Macrophage is spleen. No? Spleen is
Spleen.
macrophage is what? Found or formed?
Where it is, like, how is it formed?
Oh, from this thing. Monocyte, WBC.
Very good. So whenever there is any foreign particle at any location, okay, what will this monocyte do? It will pass through the artery.
Phagocytosis.
Yes, phagocytosis. Now, what amoeba does is also phagocytosis only, no?
It will break down the food materials.
Not like that. When you say phagocytosis, it means that it is capturing the cell.
Okay.
Or the cell is capturing something. If it is capturing a food particle, it's called phagocytosis. If it is capturing a water particle or liquid particle, it's called pinocytosis.
If it's capturing a food particle, it's phago. If it's capturing a
fluid substances, it's called pinocytosis.
What?
See, there are two types, okay? One is called cell eating and cell drinking. When the cell captures a food particle, it's called phagocytosis. And when a cell captures water or fluid particles, it's called as pinocytosis.
Oh, phagocytosis.
One second. Huh?
Phagocytosis.
Pinocytosis, okay? Pinocytosis.
Phagocytosis.
Yes. One second. Enna class edukumma. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, pinocytosis.
Got the difference? So cell drinking is also known as pinocytosis.
Cell drinking is pinocytosis.
Correct. Cell eating is phagocytosis. So during phagocytosis, the movement that a cell does is called as amoeboid movement. Because the cell will capture the food particle like how amoeba does with its pseudopodia. Okay. So this is one type of movement. The next one is ciliary movement. Ciliary movement is nothing but cilia will cause the movement. For example, your fallopian tube is the fallopian tube is there, right? So once the egg is or the ovum gets into the fallopian tube, the what?
Ampulla junction. It fertilizes ampulla isthmus junction. No,
that is not what I'm trying to say. Wait, it has to travel through the fallopian tube even after the formation of zygote or whatever.
Yeah, it has to come back.
How is it going to travel across the fallopian tube? It is because your fallopian tube is ciliated. So the movement of cilia causes the movement of the egg.
Hmm.
See here in this diagram.
The cilia causes the movement of the egg.
Yeah, the cilia will keep moving to and fro, as a result of which it's just like, you know, a sweeping movement. Yeah, have you seen, like, you know, when you sweep at your home and all? No,
Hmm.
like you will just move it to and fro, and the whatever dust is there, they get piled up, right? Same way, here the to and fro movement of the cilia will cause the egg to move forward.
Hmm.
Is this clear?
Like the cilia present on the wall of the fallopian tube.
Yeah, that's an example.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Next is the muscular movement. Almost all the movement in our body, like for example, while we talk, we move our hands, correct?
Hmm.
We move our mouth. Okay. All these movements are because of the muscles.
Hmm.
Okay. The contraction of the muscle leads to these kind of movements. Okay.
Okay, like limb, jaw. Okay, tongue.
Yeah, your hand is a muscle. Your jaws also have muscle. Your tongue also has. Tongue is itself is a muscular organ.
Tongue is the strongest muscle.
Yes. So
But how, ma'am? Tongue is strongest muscle and
that
all.
is actually a myth. It's not a true thing.
Like they say, tongue is strongest muscle, but your biceps can be much stronger.
No, no.
Ma'am, I think they meant tongue is the strongest natural muscle.
Once again, Mandavedi. Kodutha vechirundalo. Order 8. 8 order. Koduthumo. ஆமா இப்பே உള്ളൂ அதுலதான் அவன் விஷ்ணு எடுக்காம പറഞ്ഞേ yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so coming back to this time, question time. Choose the correct statement. What's the answer?
Movement is a type of locomotion. Movement is a type of locomotion.
Movement is a type of locomotion. Locomotion is a type of movement.
No, I'm reading, ma'am. Why did you go down?
Oh, I thought you're telling me the answer.
Ma'am, movement is anything. Locomotion is moving the body. So obviously locomotion is type of movement.
Okay, cool, fine. Oh, now we come to, yes, the muscular system. Okay, so now onwards, like I want you to pay attention, because there are very intricate structures, and often these terms are like, you know, little confusing, and you might end up getting confused at the end. So follow like properly from the beginning. Okay. And yeah, in your textbook this is not explained in detail, but the diagram is given. That's why I'm telling. Okay. So when we talk about muscles, the major function of muscle is to contract, as a result of which movement is caused. Okay. Now, what is your muscle made up of? That's the next question. Okay. So when we talk about muscle are made up of muscle cells called as myocytes.
Myocytes.
Yes, myocytes. Okay. So the cells of the muscle are called as myocytes. Now this cell can further be branched. Okay. How does that happen? So when the cell basically, let me just go to that part. Wait. We'll come back to these later. Yes, structure of a muscle. So this is how one cell will look like. It is a bundle. Okay. So when you take a skeletal muscle, the skeletal muscle will be a huge, thick, cylindrical structure. Fine. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this particular thick cylindrical structure here, can you see this?
One cell or there's like a cluster of cells?
No. This is just one cell I'm talking about.
Inside one cell, there's like a cluster.
Yes, there's a bundle of cells. Okay. So what happens is this skeletal muscle that we are seeing here, The covering of it is called as epimysium. What is it called?
Epimysium.
It is nothing but a connective tissue covering the skeletal muscle.
Hmm.
Okay, what is it called?
Epimysium.
Yes. Outside this epimysium, there is another layer of a sheet-like structure, which is called as fascia. What is it called?
Fascia.
Fascia. Is this clear till
Yes.
now? Now what will happen? Let's break down the structure further. So inside the skeletal muscles, there are further cylindrical structures. These cylindrical structures are called as muscle fiber bundle.
Hmm.
What are they called?
Muscle fiber bundle.
Correct. Or also known as fascicle.
Fascicle.
The connective tissue layer that is surrounding this fascicle is called perimysium. What is the difference between epimysium and perimysium?
Is outside, peri is inside. Peri is also a little bit inside, I think.
No. Outside what? You can't tell like that in this case. See, here there will be a lot of perimysiums because there are so many muscle fibers. Can you see there's so many circular things here? Are you able to understand? This is one big cylinder. Inside that big cylinder, there are small further cylinders. Okay, that big cylinder is going to be covered by epimysium. And each small cylinder is going to be covered by the perimysium.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Okay.
Ma'am,
The big cylinder
it's like a
called
test tube,
as,
okay.
once again, let me complete this. Okay. The big cylinder is called as your skeletal muscle. The small cylinders are called as muscle fibers or fascicles. Now you ask me, what were you telling?
Ma'am, so it's like a big test tube holder. Inside there, many test tubes. The test tube holder is covered by epimysium. When you pick up an individual test tube from it, it's like a pen stand basically. When you pick up an individual pen, that pen is covered by perimysium.
Very good. Yes. Now that pen is going to have.
Is covered by epimysium, and it has a sheath outside covering called fascicle.
No, that fascia.
Fascia.
Okay, it's a collagen sheath. It's made up of collagen. Okay, now, like you gave the pen example, no? So the pen is further going to consist of refill, yes or no? Same way, these muscle fibers are further going to consist of something called as like muscle fiber. So these are muscle fiber bundles, yes or no? So these muscle fiber, when do you call it as a bundle normally?
When many things are present together.
Exactly. So when many muscle fibers are present together, you call that particular thing as muscle fiber bundle or fascicle. Okay. So each muscle fiber bundle is going to consist of several muscle fibers. Okay. And these muscle fibers, each muscle fiber is covered by endomysium. So what is the difference between epimysium, perimysium, and endomysium?
Peri is epi is the outermost.
Okay.
Means outermost covering of the entire muscle fiber, the muscle, skeletal muscle.
Not muscle fiber, skeletal muscle. Yes, correct.
If you take an entire muscle fiber called fascicle, that will have perimysium as its covering. Then from the fascicle, if you take this thing.
Which thing?
Muscle fiber, because fascicle is bundle of muscle fibers.
Very good.
If you take an individual muscle fiber, that will be covered by endomysium.
Good. Now you understood this difference? Now, if you further dig into your muscle fiber, you're going to see this particular structure like this. Can you see this? Lines, vertical lines and parallel lines are there. Okay, these lines are called myofibril. What are they called?
Myofibril.
Yes, the myofibril is made up of two substances. One is a thick filament and a thin filament. The myofibril. Okay, these lines are there. No, there are few thick lines. There are few thin lines. Okay, the thick ones are called as thick filaments and the thin ones are called as thin filament.
The thick ones are called?
Thick filament, that's it. The thin ones are called thin filament.
The thick, okay.
Okay, so what does your muscle fiber consist of, Niketa? Your muscle fiber will further consist of myofibrils. These myofibrils are nothing but filaments, microfilaments. Okay, they can be either thick or they can be either thin. Okay, the thick filaments, the thick myofilaments are made up of myosin, and the thin ones are made up of actin. Okay, so you might get confused which is made up of what. How I remember is thin and tin, they rhyme. No, so actin is the element that is present in the thin
Actin, thick is myosin.
Yeah, thick is myosin and thin is actin. So actin and myosin are nothing but proteins. Is this clear? So if I expand that myofibril structure, it is going to look something like this here. The red ones are the thick filaments and the blue ones are the thin filaments. Okay. So what is a thick filament made up of?
Ma'am, thick is myosin, thin is actin.
Actin. Okay. Now when later on we will study about the structure of this actin and myosin also. Okay. So these actin and myosin are the ones majorly responsible for the contraction of your muscle. Therefore,
Yeah, I know. Actin, myosin part, this the mechanism is there, no? For muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, muscle contraction. We learned that here. So this actin and myosin, since they are the major ones that are responsible for the contraction, they are also known as contractile protein. What are they known as?
Contractile protein.
Yes. So if I tell contractile protein, what should your answer be?
If it's ma'am, what?
What are the contractile proteins? And if I ask, what your answer will be?
What are contractile proteins? Actin.
And?
Myosin.
Yeah, why are they called so?
Huh?
Why are they called so?
Because, ma'am, what do you say? What do you mean, ma'am? What? I didn't get it.
Why are actin and myosin called as contractile protein?
Because they help in contraction of muscles.
Very good. Okay. Now, coming to actin structure. So, actin is called as thin filament. Okay.
And actin is thin, myosin
Actin is called as thin filament. Okay. Now, what is going to happen is, imagine two bead chains. Have you seen pearl strings?
Yes, ma'am.
Like the beads with pearl beads will be there. No. So, imagine two such strings. Okay. And you're going to helically bound them. Whatever resulting structure you're going to get is the structure of your actin. So if you see this image, can you see this image? The red color one. So there are two chains. Okay. So these two chains are called as F filaments. What are they called?
What, ma'am? That whole thing is actin. And those two filaments.
Wait, I'm trying to show you individual pictures, but looks like I can't find the individual pictures. Okay, they have not given separate ones. Okay, so yeah, I'll just stick to this picture. So can you see this that yellow color line where they have marked G actins? Okay, so basically what
the yellow
happened?
Color line, the yellow color circles or the overall yellow that border?
The overall red color one with the yellow dot. Okay, so I think I should draw this and explain rather than explaining to you like this. Wait a second. Where can I draw here? I can annotate, no? Pen. Pen. Pen is here. Okay, cool. So see here, how the actins are going to look is like this, okay? So you're going to have like these round things. Okay, so each round thing is actually a G actin molecule. What is it?
G-actin.
Yes, G-actin molecule. So many G-actin molecules together will form a filament, which is F-actin.
Hmm.
So till now, why is it called G-actin? Is because it's round and globular in structure, no? So that's why it's called as G-actin. Okay. So right now, what you need to remember is actin structure. When we talk about the actin structure, actin is made up of two filaments. Okay. One is called each filament is called as, this is one filament. This is another filament joined together. Each filament is called as F filament. Till here is clear? Each filament. Like I told you to first assume a thread of pearl chains, no?
So each ball is a G-actin.
Yeah. So what did I say? These two pearl chains, you're going to helically wound them to form a actin molecule. Yes or no?
Wait, ma'am. So each circle in the pearl chain is a G-actin.
Yes.
And the thread is a F-actin.
The one thread is F-actin. F-actin filament. Okay. Now what is going to happen? These are going to wound like this with each other. This is one F-actin. And this is another F-actin. Like this, they will wind and form a helical structure. Till here is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you look at the structure, it will be something like this. You know,
Like a
round,
DNA.
round. Ah, correct. Okay. So these round structures are called as F-actin. This much is clear, no? Now, on these helical structures, here and there will be few sites. Okay. That is called the active site. What is it called?
Active site.
Yes. Why is it called active site? Is because at that site only the myosin will come and bind.
Wait, what, ma'am? At that active site, myosin will come and bind.
Yes. Active site, myosin will come and bind.
Wait. Ma'am, repeat active site, the correct definition you told.
The active site is the site on the actin where the myosin will come and bind.
Okay. And which is the active site, like compared to when we said G is the pearl beads, F is the thread, and active site is the?
Hey, when I say G is basically F-actin consists of the G, right?
Yeah, the thread consists of the pearls.
The pearls are each pearl is G-actin. Together, the thread is called as F-actin.
F-actin.
So randomly on the G-actins, you can find these active sites. Okay. Now, the problem is that these active sites are actually covered initially. Okay. How they are covered is, can you see this thread-like structure running in the center, a pink thread-like structure? Okay. That thread-like structure is called as tropomyosin. Okay. So this tropomyosin is going to go around this F-actin, and what it will do is that it will cover the active sites.
It will cover the active sites and prevent binding of.
Correct, myosin. Because see, if the myosin binds to the actin, okay, contraction of the muscle will happen. Fine. But do we always need the muscle to be in a contracted state?
No.
No. So we need it only then whenever it is required. So the active site, if it is open always, what will happen? The myosin will always bind, right? So in order to avoid that, the active site is covered by this tropomyosin. Okay, which is again a thin filament that runs along the F-actin. Is this clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then there are some patches of structure. Can you see these blue color ones?
Blue, which one? Oh yeah, those blue color balls below the CACA.
Exactly. Those blue color balls are basically troponin. Okay. So what will happen is that these troponin is the site at which this calcium will come and bind. Okay. When the calcium binds, the troponin will move away, and these active sites will start revealing slowly because the tropomyosin also will move away.
Now it will bind and it will contract basically.
Yes, that's how the process happens. Okay, so
Wow.
first we saw the structure of actin. So when we talk about the structure of actin, actin has two filaments called as F filaments. These are made up of globular actin. They are helically wound with each other. And then these have sites called as active sites, which are covered by tropomyosin. And here
Yeah,
and
so
there,
that it prevents binding at all the times.
what?
So that it prevents binding no 24/7.
Correct. Yes. And then there are other bunch of cells which are called as troponin, which is present at regular intervals in the actin. This is the structure of
Oh,
actin.
so complicated.
Yes. That's why I said you have to keep listening properly. Okay.
Wow.
The next one is structure of myosin.
Oh.
Very simple structure. It's something like a snake. Like how a snake has a head and a like a tail portion. No.
And that
Same
looks
way.
like cobra.
Yeah, exactly. So here, what is going to happen is that there will be like a tail, okay, which will be joined together. From that tail, there is going to be two heads that are popping. Can you see the structure here? Yes, the tail is actually called as light meromyosin.
The tail is called?
Light meromyosin.
Oh, light meromyosin.
Yes. And this portion, that is your head portion and the neck, the short arm that is holding the head, they are called as heavy meromyosin. So meromyosin is basically a protein, okay?
Ma'am, the one that's below the head is light meromyosin. That is the tail.
Tail portion, yes.
The one that's above the head is heavy meromyosin.
The one that is, the head is made up of is heavy meromyosin. And it is going to have like two head-like structures. Is this clear? Structure is clear. So if actin is made up of F-actin, troponin and tropomyosin, and myosin is made up of meromyosin. It can be of two types, light meromyosin, heavy meromyosin. Heavy meromyosin is present on the head portion and light meromyosin is present on the tail portion.
The light meromyosin is present on the tail. Heavy is present on the head.
Now try recollecting from the beginning. Like that is from the structure of your muscles.
Ma'am, actin.
No,
first muscle. Outermost is epi. What is it?
Epimysium.
Epimysium. Then where each, if you pull out each, it's covered by a sheath called fascia.
Very good.
Then there's a bundle of muscle fibers inside called fascicle. If you pull that out, that is covered by perimysium. Then when you pull one muscle fiber from the perimysium, it is covered by endomysium.
Okay. From the muscle fiber bundle.
From the bundle, one muscle fiber. Then it contains thick and thin strands. The myofibril. That is one muscle fiber. It contains thick and thin strands. The thin strand is called actin, thick strand is called myosin.
Okay.
They help in muscle contraction. Then we learn structure of actin. About how it has active side. It's like a pearl bead, pearl chain. The beads contact the G sites and the whole thread with beads got the F sides. And then it has tropo, what is that, ma'am? It's present like threads.
Tropomyosin.
Tropomyosin is present like threads. It prevents its binding with active sites so that muscle does not contract all the time. And troponin is present at intervals. And then myosin is like a snake. It has tail and head. Head has heavy something myosin and tail has light something myosin.
Okay. Heavy meromyosin and light meromyosin.
Light meromyosin.
That's it. Good. Okay. Now for today, you have learned like enough names. So I'm not going ahead with it. Okay. Tomorrow's class, I will continue with this portion.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll talk meet you tomorrow probably at 6 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tomorrow 6 o'clock I'll fix the class. Okay.
Okay.
So please don't forget it. Like now, after you go, no, do one thing. Just take 2 minutes of your time. Write down like wherever this chapter is there.
Tomorrow you ask me structure of actin
Mhm.
and myosin, whatever we learned today. I
No,
will
no.
tell.
I want you to write it as a flow chart and keep like starting
Oh,
from the muscle fiber
okay.
till your actin and myosin. The reason is because now you will remember later on when you want to think how the breakdown is. I'm pretty sure you will not find a proper source to find the breakdown. So, if a way you start write and keep, I'm telling,
Okay, ma'am.
like a cue card, so that later on, if you want to refer, also you just need
Tomorrow
to
I can
refer.
just refer to it like a placard.
Correct, exactly. So please do that right away. Don't forget it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because if you understand this only, then only the light, the dark bands, the contraction you will
Oh,
understand.
yeah, I know that
Illana,
light
you'll get-
band, dark band.
Yeah. So the contraction part, you need to understand the mechanisms. You need to understand the structure also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See you then
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. I'll confirm timing after school, ma'am.
Sure, sure. Done that. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Bye.